We live in interesting time. The rise of ethno-nationalism pushed back against migrants in some Western countries because locals feel their country has been taken over, their way of life has been destroyed in the name of diversity. And people these days are walking on eggshell. They fear to speak their mind in case of offending. To top them, we also have a high cost of living, lack of job security, and crazy housing price into the mix. All of this make people like me, the first generation migrant, an easy target. This video is about how we migrants can take it even further to destroy the spirit of multiculturalism. Let's get into it. First, don't ask what you can do to your country, but ask what you can get from your country. That quote came from John F. Kennedy. As taxpayers, we want our money worth, and our overpaid politicians are not exactly trustworthy. So it's fair to game the system. Western countries in some ways are like heaven for third world migrants. There are social safety nets like Centrelink if you live in Australia, job seeker payments that you can take advantage by only doing cash-in-hand works while claiming the benefits, courtesy of taxpayers. Also, if you're religious and believe that your religious laws are the real deal above the man-made laws, then get divorced on paper so you can claim a single payment support. Remember, you're still married in spirit according to your religion, and that's the only things that matter. So what to do when it comes to civic duties, like voting, for example? In Australia at least, voting is compulsory. Well, you can learn from my friend. She never votes for the best policies. She always votes for politicians with the best smile. Second, play your freedom of expressions and racism card wisely. The beautiful thing about multicultural society is people tend to be politically correct because it's easier than speaking up and having a difficult, necessary conversation on what sort of society we want to live in. You can use it to your advantage. Let them be naive in believing in the ideal of multiculturalism. What you want is a parallel culture where you can live in your own little bubble to maintain your own cultural and ethnic purity while enjoying all the goodies that Western countries got to offer. If people question your decision for staying in your own little bubble, then play your freedom of expression card wisely. Tell them that this is the reason why you want to come here and live here, and even make them feel good. Tell them that it's a good question to ask. If they still persist to engage you in respectful conversations, then draw your ultimate card, racism. No one likes being accused of racism. That's so 19th century. Let them become desperate and run to patriotic politicians to make their voice heard. Third, insist to speak in your own language. Back in uni, some of my close friends are international students from India. I remember feeling confused listening to Indians talking in English among themselves. On our way home, I asked him, "Do you guys speak Hindi?" He looked at me like I'm an idiot. Well, you were there, and you don't speak Hindi. That reminds me of Singapore. As you probably know that Singapore is Chinese majority, and they speak Chinese, most of them. Unfortunately, the late Lee Kuan Yew insists that everyone must speak English for the sake of nation unity.
27 years. Since 59, the announcements could be in English and the whole stadium understood. And they responded as one. They could sing together. You know, we couldn't sing together. We sang different songs in different languages. And it was almost immutable, unchangeable. We had to change it very carefully, gradually.
That's bizarre because Lee himself is a Mandarin speaker. Just listen to him in this video.
可是你没有华语呢，一定会后悔莫及的，并不是因为中国崛起，是因为你自己要了解你自己的根。
And now look at Singapore. Instead of English, they have Singlish, Singaporean English.
In Singapore, when we want to confirm if someone has found something,
instead of saying,
"Did you find it?"
"Is it over there?"
we say, "Hey, got or not?"
"Have or don't have, huh?"
And you must agree that it's better to speak Chinese with Chinese accent than a hybrid English. Same thing happening to the country where I live, Australia. Because they insist us migrants to speak English, now you have to suffer through my English, Indonesian English. Lastly, treat your new passport as a Trojan horse. Most Western countries like Australia, USA, Canada, UK, allow dual citizenships. They recognize their countries are built by people with roots from all over the world and have strong ties to their birth countries. It's a nice recognition that you can abuse by treating your new passport as a Trojan horse. Once you are in, it's virtually impossible to kick you out. Use it to your advantage before they change the laws. You are allowed to have 2 or more wives in some Arab and Asian countries, but there is no way you can hold multiple passports because they understand one thing: it's easier to be faithful to multiple wives than countries. Once you follow through all these 4 steps, within 2 or 3 generations, you will see that the multicultural countries you come to love transform into monoculture. Your culture. Please give it a like and subscribe if you learn something new. I will also appreciate if you buy me coffee. Then I will see you in the next video. Bye.